guys, can y'all hear me? Can y'all see the starting screen? Hey guys, how's it going? How's everybody's Friday going? Where's everybody from? Checking out chat. Oh, we got a California. MM. Good to see you. Thanks for all the taps on the screen and sharing the live. Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Georgia. Howdy, howdy. Yay. Awesome. So glad y'all can hear me. North Carolina, Houston, Texas, Kentucky. From Texas, my uncle lives in Texas. So does my Aunt Debbie, Uncle David. I've got another aunt in Tulsa, but I was an only child. So was my dad, an only child. My mom had siblings. Michelle, nice to meet you. All right, all right. Good job, good job. So glad y'all can see and hear me. We got a Virginia. Awesome. Did anybody do the poll? Oh, yeah. We got 84% of people planning on taking their CPC exam before October 1st. It is my recommendation that if you did by 2 attempts, if you really want to try to take it before the end of the year, try to take one sometime at least in October, because testing facilities get bogged down at the end of the year with everybody waiting till the last minute to take their exam. So I recommend at least doing one attempt by October 31st, and then that way you have a couple of months to study just in case you don't pass and you need to do another one by the end of the year. Thank you, Sass, for the donuts. You're awesome. I was in a donut mood this week. We had pizza night last night. You're starting your medical coding in May. Yay, I hope I can help you out, Nene. That's awesome. For those of you that have been following along with me for this year and last year, just wanted to let y'all know one of my ducks passed. MK passed her certification last Saturday. So I only really have a couple of more ducks left out of the thousands who follow me and everything else that haven't passed. So I got a couple of more in the fires that need to pass, but that did a lot of one-on-one tutoring with me. So that's encouraging. I've only got a couple of more left. So can't wait. Got to get these last few off my little list, and then I'll be super happy. We have no more duck classes until March 24th. Those are my Friday morning classes that are extra for anybody who has attempted a medical certification exam, who has not passed, who needs to practice with advanced questions. I have those on Fridays. They're $5 for 2 hours. But I don't have any scheduled till the 24th because my boys are out on spring break starting today through the 17th. So they go back to school on the 20th. So they're home, and it's a nightmare to try to do anything with my little demons around. James, he won all of his ball games so far, so that's been fun. He had one game where he didn't even get out on the field for some reason, but he did last night, so that was fun. Travis watching Batman right now, the one with Catwoman in it, and he's just obsessed. Wants to do stunts like Catwoman in a real feature film. So he's like, when can I start applying for jobs and get into the movies? And I'm like, Lord help. We don't live that close to Hollywood. We're still about 4-hour one-way drive to Hollywood. So you're going to have to hold your horses till you get your driver's license. Or at least be able to take the train by yourself. How's everybody else's week going? Your kids good? Weather's good? Is it getting any better where everybody's at? Yep, I'm so happy for MK too. Utah. I vacationed there last year. I hope you do so well on your exam on the 25th. Chevy girl. Good luck, Marlene. My mom's doing great. She was in there banging around in the kitchen a minute ago. She hates the way I put away the dishes. So she had some pots and pans, and you know all those little baking pans that slide around, the ones for cooking and the muffin pans? They're just a disorganized mess. And the way you put them up in the cabinet, they just slide. You try to pull one out, and then they all fall out. So I know she was frustrated a minute ago. I sent Travis in there to help her out, but she's doing great. Oh, your son is checking out my son's gaming. He can't wait to check out the gaming now. That's awesome, TJ. I know last night some people were watching John. He was playing Mario Brothers. I could hear it going, Yahoo! in there in his room. And I think Twinkle was watching his live. So I appreciate that. Y'all are so awesome. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are such good friends. I appreciate the family support for John the Viking on YouTube. He's at the gym right now because he doesn't go live when I'm going live because our internet just can't handle both of us going live at the same time. So he's out at the gym right now. Yes. Prayers for tomorrow. Absolutely. I just finished my medical coding class and I haven't finished paying for my certification. Oh, and I know it's so much. So much they're asking for. Hey, Mama. Thank you for the Friday TikTok. That's awesome. Thank you for the 600 likes on TikTok right now. And the shares of the TikTok live. And thank you for the thumbs up on YouTube. Let's get started with some, let Let me see, which one is it going to be? Nope, not that one. It's going to be this one. Let's do a little bit of anatomy real quick, and then we'll get started with some really cool questions. I have vaccines to do starting off, then some cool cardiology, and then some lab and path that are super difficult. It took me a minute and a half to figure out those. And then some E&Ms. We'll finish up with E&Ms tonight. So on this little piece of paper that I have here, we're going to do some body planes. You can look in your CPT book. We do have these noted in the very beginning of the book before the E&M section. If you turn to page XXIV in your CPT book, I think it's the same page for both 2022 and 2023. You may have this picture right there, which is super helpful, but if there's anything extra that we could add, we can add it into our notes. I have highlighted in my notes that sagnal plane, of course, is at the body's median. Coordinal plane is also called frontal plane, which will be called something else here on our little document that we have. Horizontal or transverse, what I have in my notes is it separates the upper and the lower parts of the body. Some things that they like to use on medical coding certification exams is knowing which way is prone or supine, knowing that the anterior aspect is also called a chest or a trunk, also knowing that the posterior aspect is also called a trunk or your back. And those are helpful. Be sure to know that for the exam. But for now, which way would our sagnal plane go? Are we going to be, that's my left over here, or are we going to be right? Y'all can type in chat. John was playing the Harry Potter game. I think he finished it. But the replays might be on there too, on his YouTube. And the way he spells his name, it's Jon, because he's from the South. You know, he was born in Tennessee. So everybody born in the South has two first names. His first name is John Michael. It's hyphenated. So I spelled it Jon. John the Viking, if you're looking for him. We're going to go to the right. That's my left. Our frontal coordinal plane. And you have to look at these dividings. So the way that this thing is pointing in our book, see where it's pink and blue? And see where the piece of paper is going here compared to what it is pointing to here. In our book, our coordinal or frontal plane is actually pointing to this picture back here. So this picture is pointing to different things located in different locations. So it's different than our CPT book. So that's why I have my sagnal plane over here on this side, because it's actually pointing to something different. You need to be able to differentiate, not just memorize that sagnal's over here or whatever, but what the difference is. Yeah. The only thing that would be similar is the one in the middle. These two are actually flipped because of what they're pointing at as far as the panes of glass go. So our transverse is, of course, also called our horizontal. And then we've got our frontal right there because of which pane of glass it's pointing at, I believe. Let me see if I'm right. Yeah, there we go. Cardiology is yeah, I'm going to show you some tricks on cardiology. You're booked for April 8th, SAS. You know, if you're going to take it in April, you're just going to pass because that's my birthday month. Nobody's not going to pass on my birthday month. I got one more since that one was super easy. Let's try this one. Maybe our ICD-10 book might have this picture in it. I didn't go look, but it shouldn't be too hard. Looking at the differences, we've got abdominal, thoracic, pelvic, cranial, cranial, ventral, vertebral, diaphragm, dorsal, and vertebral. So the first thing that happens is I bet we can pick out which ones are cranial, right? We can move those right on up here, point that to the brain. Let's see. What about here? Hey, Anointed. Good to see you. Thank you for the donuts. You are awesome. I've got 23 TikTok subscribers, which I get $2 a month from those. And that's going to give us $50 to give away free notes and stuff like that too. You guys probably can't see it on YouTube, but I had a picture I was going to show you guys. I wonder, what did I do with it? Did I take a picture of it or did I screenshot it? Right here. I've shown TikTok. So far this year, we've given away 217 sets of notes, tutoring, or anything from my website that can be given away. So far this year, we've already given away 217. So that could be workshops, classes, notes, and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. But that's all from your TikTok memberships and your YouTube memberships too. So I appreciate that. And I know everybody else does too that gets help. All right, let's see. What would be our second thing right underneath this cranial? I think it's pointing to the spinal column. I wonder if that's one of our vertebrals. Maybe. I know here we've got 2 areas listed, it looks like pointed at. We got our belly and our hips. So that looks like abdominal pelvic to me because it looks like 2 areas. Where would the other abdominal go? 1, 2, 3, or 4 column. So just tell me a column. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Where would this abdominal go? You think it would be 1 or 2? 2, everybody's saying 2. Yeah, that's probably abdominal. And I don't have it up. If somebody could post, oh, wait a minute, right here. If you guys wanted a copy of my notes, they're here at medicalcodingbyjen.com. All you got to do is go to the shop right there. I had the blog up a minute ago. I have a bunch of blogs here for free too. But all the notes are here. The CPT ones are right here. Then the ICD-10 ones are here. And then repeat workshops that are on YouTube. And then this is just a list of everything, like hip picks, whatever else. That's just everything that isn't separated out. But if y'all needed anything, that's where that's at. And get back to the thingy. Where was I at? Terminology. There we go. And get rid of that. There we go. All right. Pelvic. Pelvic region 1, 2, 3, or 4. Where would pelvic go? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Y'all like to, you think it's down here in that green area? Probably. Out of everything else. All right, diaphragm. It's pointing to 2 areas. Maybe. Yeah. Where would we put our thoracic? Are we going to be column 1, 2, 3, or 4? Where would the thoracic go? Thank you, Twinkle. Everybody 2? Okay. All right. We got another vertebral. One, 2. Well, 2's full, so is 3. So 1 or 4. Vertebral. Ooh. What? Could be. Our dorsal, 1 or 3. 4. I'm sorry, 1 or 4. 1 or 4. Dorsal. 1. All right, and then we'll put our ventral over here on the end. All right, let's check it out. Yep, got it all correct. Good job. Doesn't hurt to draw in stuff like this in case you need it in the books. Doesn't hurt at all. All right. Thing here. If you guys wanted to join the YouTube membership, which is a paid membership where you get access to the repeat ducks and the CPT book prep code by code videos and all the old workshops, that join button right here is where you hit it to join. It's kind of hidden, but it's $5 a month. You can stop at any time. You can also win, because we do get super chats and other things here during our live that contribute to helping out and giving people free memberships. Just make sure that if you're in our live right now, you have like this thing pressed around in your chat on YouTube that says you will accept gifts. And I can't think of anything else, but there's a way that you need to make sure in any kind of, if somebody gives away something, or if you ever see one of those big green boxes like this right up here, click it and make sure that it'll give you the option to accept gifts. So that's super helpful. And to win or get in the raffle for free notes, email me at medicalcodingbyjen@gmail.com. Just put raffle in the heading, and when I get done with my audit, which should be in the next 2 weeks, I'll be having those raffles again. So just put raffle in the heading, that way I know there's nothing there that I need to reply to, that I know that you're just entering into the raffle for a free drawing. All my YouTube subscribers and my TikTok subscribers, those paid members, they automatically get multiple entries into the raffle. Have I started the E&M section yet as far as questions going tonight? No, I have not. As far as doing the notes for 2023, yes, I have done those. Those are all available. Yep. And Twinkle will be able to give away some YouTube memberships in about 5 minutes. But let's go to my Word document for tonight and get that going for our questions for tonight. I think I do, if I can find them. Yes, I have copies of my notes for my Word documents until we get to E&M section tonight. I didn't do copies of that. But all of cardiology, medicine, and lab and path, you'll get to see copies of my notes. So you know what you're purchasing, if you are purchasing or anything, or if you just want to pause the screen later on the replay and copy those notes for these pages, that's a good time to do it too. Don't forget that I have copies of how to do notes all for free on my website too. Don't forget you've got this tab that's called CPT Book Prep. It will show you picture by picture of how to make your own notes. Just click on the picture and it'll give you instructions on what I'm doing. And then it'll teach you how to do your anatomy and your ICD-10. So, and I got some guideline sheets here, and what's the difference between a parent and a child, some answers for how to deliver babies, just all kinds of helpful information, heart attacks, sequela events, sepsis notes are right there. Just all free. I like to teach you guys for free on how to make your own notes. So that's all there too. You don't have to just buy them. But if you want them, they're there. So we've got all 60s and 61s. We just need to know, are we going to times them? If we are, can we times the first one or the second one? That kind of thing. We can look at our notes. They're not super helpful as far as just what's in the book, and that's it. Is it here? Yep, it's here. And my picture is probably not the best here because I was in a hurry. But what it tells you here, it does say the word each in the 60 code. So that means technically This one should have a times by it. So should this one, so that it tells you that you can times these. Yep. So is our 71. And I wrote it on 72. It can also be here, but we hardly ever do multiple nasal vaccines, but it can be. There we go. That's better. Just move it up. Anytime a CPT code descriptor says the word each in it, which I have highlighted, that means that you can multiply it. Now, to find out why and how we need to multiply it, it's going to be all up in these guidelines that are not on these pages, but I'm going to explain it to you in a little easier format. So if we're going to use 60 and 61, counseling, which is written in here on the side, has to have happened. And meaning the question from any kind of certification exam will actually say that the patient had counseling. You will see that word. If it doesn't have counseling in it, it's going to be 71 that's going to be used. That means we ordered the vaccine. The doctor just said, yeah, it's time for your vaccines. Here, get your tetanus and polio. This question that we're working on today doesn't give us those options. They're all in the 60s, so you know that counseling happened anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But we do need to know, how do we calculate these? If counseling's done, you need to be able to do the times for each individual component of all the vaccines that were given that day. Some vaccines have multiple components. So in my notes, I go through all the vaccines. Like, for example, this 90707 is our MMR vaccine. It has 3 components in it. I know that because of another document, which is free, of course, on my website, that we can go to real quick. I'll show you. And I think I spoke about it the other night, Wednesday night. But if you go to my shared gallery, which is free for everybody, Twinkle and I have posted the most updated pictures of vaccines here. It's these blue and pink sheets. You would click on these pictures, go through your vaccine list here, which is going to be super easy because look, all the CPT codes are listed here to the left-hand side. Just go to each one, like 90620, and write down that it has one component in it, which is your far side numbers. The other thing that is super handy to write down is the second to the last column is the brand name of the vaccine, because sometimes I've seen their questions just say Pediarex was given. Well, the CPT code in the description will not say Pediarex. It's going to say that code. It'll say influenza, blah, 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 trivalent, number 3, but it's not going to give you the brand name. Brand name Pediarex would be, where's Pediarex? There's Prevnar, rotavirus. Nope, that's not it. Pediarex. There it is. This is what I call Pediarex. Pediarex. Where is Pediarex? Maybe it's on the other sheet. But having those down with the number of components is super helpful. Some of them have 6 components, some of them have 5. Those are all super important to write down in your book. Not every certification exam from AAPC will have a vaccine question, but 3 out of 6 of the different versions of the CPC exam will have a vaccine one, and you may need those components. So it's a 50-50 shot whether you get one with components or not. Better be safe than sorry, and it's super easy. I've given you all the info, plus you've got my notes you can purchase or you can see while I'm doing this live. Plus I've got, if you miss it, all the sheets listed for free on my website. So knowing how many components are in each one is going to be super helpful, because you're going to have to add those together. And that way you'll know which answer is correct on this one. So let's check out our question real quick. So in this one, they gave us our MMR, which I've already told you guys, MMR has 3 components in it, right? Then it gives us a name brand of another one. You'll have to go through your list, hopefully, and be able to find it. Where's my PDFs? Yep, where's my PDFs? Pentacell. There we go. So we're going to look here on the sides for that name brand that we're looking for. See Pneumovax. There's Pentacell right there, 90698. See, they don't give you the CPT code. They don't give you the name of the CPT code, but they give you a name brand that's not in the CPT book, and you would just have to know that it's got 5 components in it. Magically, unless you were told ahead of time by your teacher that you needed this info. So we've got Pentacell. It has 5 components. Cool. And then we've got a flu vaccine. Flu vaccines have only 1 component in them. Even though they might be for influenza type A or B, or have multiple flus in them, they're only considered 1 component. So if I add all these together, we're going to get the number 9. So whatever I pick here, I know that my answer is going to have to equal up 9. If I was to add these together, what would my answer be for how many components there are for our answer A? How many components are there? Hey Deep, I'm just getting started. We just did a little bit of anatomy. You can rewatch it. It's easy. If you're having trouble with viewing this, down here in the bottom on your YouTube screen, you've got this settings. Tap it. Take it from auto to 720 or to 1080 to change your video quality, which will help you out a whole bunch. Yep, the answer is 4 components for answer A. How many components is it for answer B? Answer B has how many components? It's in my notes. Because I went ahead and already wrote how many components are in it, plus I wrote the name brand down beside the CPT code related to Pentacell. Yep, this one equals 9. If the answer was C, how many components are there? Ooh, Twinkle's giving away a YouTube subscription. Who's gonna win? Laureen? Shook? Awesome. She just won a YouTube membership. I think the lady that started CCO has got the same first name. That's awesome. Love the name. Every time I see it, I think, oh, there's that smart lady. CCS, CCO. It's CCO. Yeah. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, I forgot to cheer. Thank you, Twinkle. How was work today? I hope you didn't rush home. Yep, so this one is 12. And then if the answer was D, what would the answer be? Three. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I hope those workshops help you out too. They're super cool because they you get access to those with the YouTube membership. And those are like 3 hours long. Just practice question, practice question. You can stop the screen and try to work out the exam question yourself. Try to pick out the answer. And then after you figured out what you think the answer is, hit play and see if you got it right. Best efficient way to study. Really cool. We already worked out that we needed an answer that ended up with number 9. So our answer would be B for this question. Again, be sure and go to my website, get that, go back here, yep, get these 3 documents, go to each CPT code that's listed here, and then write down how many components it has into it. It's super fast, super easy. Then the next thing you need to write is just the name brand next to it, right here. So the first column gets you the CPT code. You can skip the second and third column. You just need to know the fourth and the fifth column. Write them down beside each one of your CPT codes. There's 3 pages of this stuff, but I've got the answers right there for you. So super easy. Won't be a hard thing to do. You guys can do it. If you want copies of my notes though, page by page, they are available. Then you can just copy it if you felt like it. But y'all can do it. I know you can. I know y'all pennied to death with the membership fees and all that stuff as it is. So if we did an MMR, a varicella, and a Prevnar, if that's what was ordered and counseled, how many components does the MMR have in it? Anybody know? Y'all type it into chat. Miss Stephanie Marie, I would recommend, I have videos on that for you. My 3 pinned TikToks right there, where to start, that will tell you where to start, how to do it the fastest, most efficient, least costly way that I can help you with to get you doing. Be sure and watch that video. How many components does the varicella have in it? Thank you for the 3,000 taps on TikTok and the sharing of the live. That really does help out. gets the word out to others. How many components does the varicella have in it? It's also called the chickenpox vaccine. Varicella. Chickenpox. It only has one component in it. You're correct. One component. How much does the Prevnar have in it? Varicella. Prevnar is CPT code 90670. Help you guys out. That also has one component in it. What would be our 90460 times number? And then what would be our 90461 times number? Yep, we have 5 altogether. Do we just put 5 here? Do we put 1 here or 4? What's our reasoning for any of these numbers being at each location? We know our times are going to need to equal up to 5 altogether, but what parts of the 5 do we put into each slot? I like to think about it. Good job, Chloe. Good job, Kitty. Good job, MK. And Jada. I like to think about it. How many shots did I give? 1, 2, 3. Oops, sorry. 3 vaccines were given. Or the other way they teach it is if you take one component away from each vaccine that you gave. So if you take one away, you're left with 2. You take one away from that one away from that one, then you're left with 3 goes here. But I like to just think of it as how many shots were ordered. That's how many syringes are going to be done. 1 shot is for MMR. It goes sub-Q. I don't know why I wrote MMM. And then varicella is another one that goes in by itself, and then so does Prevnar. But you can either do the math where you take one component away from each vaccine, or you just think about how many shots are given. The first number will be 3. Whatever's left over after however many you take away, because of however many shots were given, is the number that goes over here. So just by chance, if you have 9 components like we did earlier with 4 shots ordered, you know your 60 is going to be times 4, and then your 61 is going to equal times 5. So if we have a total of 12 components with, that would be a lot, with 4, again, because you really only, I mean, I don't know, I've seen people do 5. I might fuss at my doctor if they order 5, because that means 2 shots are going into one arm or one leg, and I don't like that. I like 1 shot per limb, and we're done for the day. We can come back for more later, but that's just me. So if we have 5 syringes, 5 shots ordered that equal up to 12 components, our 60 is going to equal 5, the times 5, and then our 61 is going to equal 7. Yep, that would be a lot. Maybe they were behind on some vaccines, but that's how you do it. It's easier when we're using the 71 and they didn't get any counseling. You don't have to worry about these timeses so much, but anyway, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. The Prevnar CPT code is 90670. All right. Infusions, right? Intravenous infusions. If we look at our codes, probably going to be a difference between just our 60s, wanting to know if we're going to do our 61 or not, just because they're both similar. I doubt we're going to be doing a category 2 code, but let's go check out our book real quick and see what is going on with our 60 code. And this is a copy of my notes because this is super hard because of the way it is written in the CPT book. They say that 96360 equals up to 31 minutes to 1 hour, but that's not technically right. If you read up here in the guidelines about this, it actually means 1 hour and 30 minutes. If we get to 1 hour and 31 minutes, that's when we can bill our 61. I don't know why they wrote this descriptor like that, but anybody that ever has a question of infusion and hasn't had a lesson with me and hasn't written down these notes differently, then you're just going to get this question wrong because you're going to go off of what the CPT descriptor says alone, and you're going to be incorrect. So ignore or even probably put a line through this because that is incorrect. It actually equals 1 hour and 30 minutes. Right here, we're going to use the 61 if it is for 1 hour and the 31 minute mark. Then we can add our 31. So that's first. Knowing that will help you out a whole bunch. And then anytime you see any practice exam questions from that point on, like I did hydration for 3 hours, I wrote the example, how it would bill it here. If I did it for 2 hours, here's what the answer is. I just do different colors for each one so that I know one color is for one answer, another color is for another answer. That helps out a whole bunch for these. So knowing that will make our answering this question a whole lot easier. So let's check out our question. See how much time. We don't need to know who the patient is, what's going on with them. All I need to know is how much time they got for their infusion. So I'm only looking for numbers or words that mean 1 hour, and so it's however many minutes, if that. So we're just going to search from the bottom up. And I see that we started at that time, ended at that time. So we have 1 hour and 15 minutes. How would we bill that? Remember from my notes, I said that we don't add the 61 until we get to 1 hour and 31 minutes. So, but if you went off of what the CPT code descriptor says, you would get it wrong because you would bill B. But because we know we can't bill it until we get to 31 minutes, we know our answer is going to be A. Yes. So if you haven't, my notes are super handy on this one. No matter what, you will get it wrong if you read the CPT descriptor on those, because it's just written incorrectly. I don't know why they wrote it that way when the guidelines right before it, if you go read those paragraphs right before it, says something totally different. I don't know. And I have a comprehension problem anyway, and it may be that I'm reading it incorrectly, just personally, but maybe y'all see that it's 1 hour and 30 minutes, but I don't know. I have to get rid of it and write the answers in like that. Cardiology. We love our cardiology. We are not going to worry about these secondary codes right now. What we're going to do is we're going to go see what our differences are on these. It's probably a difference between A and D because we have two with the same answer, those 35s. But since they're all super close, let's go see what our differences are real quick. So let me get to that and get to that. These are probably another tricky one. All right. What have I got here? All right, so our 33, way down here at the bottom. Ooh, who's gifting something? Twinkle. Twinkle's gifting something. She's giving away more YouTube. Who won? I can't even begin to say that name. Deviana, maybe? That's awesome. You just won a membership to YouTube. I hope it helps you out a whole bunch. I hope those videos turn out to be worth your time for sure. So if we look at our header for the 33, the 34, and the 35, we are only worried about how many arteries we're doing. Did we do 1? Did we do 2? Or did we do 3? And remember, what I like to do is, you see how I have it circled in red right there? That's because everything underneath this header is all arterial. Some things might be venous, and I circle those differently. But these, if it's artery or aorta, I circle them in red. That's super helpful because a lot of cardiology is just knowing whether you are arterial or venous. So I know right away, my first code is how many arteries did I do? So let's check out our question. Go back to that. Let's remove this. I'm not looking for who the patient is, what their diagnosis is. I'm not going to look for nothing other than I need to count arteries. So anytime it says the word artery, I'm going to count it. If they only did 1, then I know I'm 33 and I'm done with my question. If they did 2, then I know that we're 34, and again, I'm done with my question. I don't have to look up anything on the back side because those are different. If it is 3 arteries, then I know it's going to be a difference between A and D, and then I'm going to look for something else. The key to getting through these questions and getting through them fast is not to look for crap that you don't need to. So, excuse my language, but let the answers tell you what to search for. Because if you read the questions from beginning to end, like we did in grammar school, you're never going to have enough time. You're not going to finish, and you're going to get lost in the propaganda that's there. So, just looking from the bottom up, I'm not worried about the graphs because we're not doing that yet. Here's an artery. Artery, I have 1. Here's another artery. I have 2. And anterior descending. LAD is an artery too. So we have 3 arteries. So we're going to get rid of B. We're going to get rid of C. Now these are the same except for, am I adding the 8 or not? So let's go see what our 8 is real quick in our notes in our CPT book. So let's go look up our 8. Our O8 is our graph because we're harvesting. That's our graft. Did we do it or not? Would we add it or not? Go back to my question. Did we do it? We did do our SAP graph. So we are going to add that 8 code. Because we did the graft, we are going to add our 8. We are going to do D. Normally, a lot of times with AAPC, if it's a difference between 2 CPT codes or 3, normally the answer is 2. But this particular answer does add the graph to it, and we are going to stick with D on this one. Thank you for the love hearts. Those are cool. Reset TikTok's little thingy. Thank you guys so much for meeting the TikTok goal. Thank you for the 3,000 likes. Thank you, Anointed. Can't wait for y'all to pass y'all's exam. Those hand hearts are expensive. Thank you. That's awesome. I don't know what 100 little thingies are, but those are expensive. Thank you. All right. That's all you had to look up the differences are of on this particular question was simply just that. How many arteries? And then did I do a graft or not? Super, not bad at all for that particular question. Thank you, Anointed. Okay, let me get back to my question real quick. All right, let's go to our next one. Here's our answer. We're in that same genre again. We're in our 33s. We've got 2 of those, or we've got 2 of the 34s. So, verify again. Check out our little PDF. 33 is just 1. 34 is 2. So let's check out and see in our question, how many did we do? I'm trying. Grab, grab, grab. There we go. Gonna search from the bottom up, looking for the word. We've got descending, interior, and what else did we do? And then we did a graft, because I see the word harvest. But is that it? We got one. So I think we get rid of C and D, because I only see one artery mentioned. Now we need to know, either are we a 17 or an 18, or do we add the 30 or not? Would it be a difference between having 4 CPT codes or 3? Let's go check out our PDF. See what my notes say. Look at our 33530. That one's a re-operation. And that's our fancy code that was on this Word document that had the extra code on it, the 33530. It said redo. Is this a redo? If we look for that, it actually spells it out that we were redoing her coronary bypass. And just simply because redo's in it, we know we get to add that extra code in it. So again, our little notion of not picking too many codes normally with AAPC, this one ends up also being one that we're going to use the additional codes with. But that's all you have to do with this one. We also only had the one graft, where the 18, I believe, is 2 grafts. You can also look at that difference too if you wanted to go by the 17 and the 18. I don't know if I made a copy of those pages. Yeah, no, I didn't make a copy of those. The 17 and the 18 are just differences by the how many grafts they did, 1 or 2. But super helpful. And of course, that redo. They're redoing a whole cabbage. And it was less than a month within the global time. Super cool. All right. Where's my Word document? Oh yeah, I gotta go this way. Word. I think MK used her 2022 book. I'm not sure, but use that document that I sell that has changes your 2022 book into a 2023. Not sure. Aw, I'm sorry you didn't get the notification. I have also, when I go live, it probably won't show up because I don't have another one showing up, but when you subscribe, it will. And then today also, like, go to the web browser. Today I was on Facebook, and let's see if I can find it. How do I find my post? I posted it on Facebook that here's the link for today. I did it, I don't know how many hours ago, that we were going to be live and what subjects I was going over, of course. And then on YouTube, I don't have it up here. Do I? I do. When I'm going to go live, my home screen for YouTube looks like this. And my next live that's coming up, you can always hit the notify me. So it will notify you when my next one is coming up. That's be right here in the middle when I schedule the next one. I have a workshop coming up too on, let me see, let me get out of this. On March 19th, I think it is. We're going to go over integumentary, musculoskeletal, and E&M if you want to join in. It's right here on my website. It's $12. It's going to be 3 hours. We're going to do no talking, visiting, or looking at other websites. We're just going to go from question to question, and we're going to do all of integumentary, musculoskeletal, and E&M. If you can't attend at that time, it's a Sunday for 3 hours. You will get access to the replay for 3 hours. When you want to book, it'll look like this. Just click on the 19th, then click at 2 p.m. Once those both are clicked, then you can hit next, and it'll let you schedule it. You'll get a link for the YouTube video, and that link will be the same one that you use to join in on that day. It'll also be the replay link, so you don't have to get anything extra. It'll be right here on YouTube, so be super helpful. Looks like Twinkle was giving away another subscription. Who did she give it away to? Did it do it? It did. Another L name. Yay! Congratulations, you just got it. Hey, mama girl. What's she doing? Thank you guys for doing the thumbs up on YouTube. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. All right. Lab and Path. Let's go do some Lab and Path. These were difficult. These were rough. I had to scratch my head and look up some definitions on these. They were from the AAPC magazine articles that we get for free, but they were rough. They were from a couple of years ago, so yeah, they were rough. They were rough. Also, I meant to mention on that previous question, when you see an abbreviation for RIMA, that means we're redoing a cabbage. So it's always going to end up being a redo, and you're always going to have that 33530. And I can't remember if I wrote it down here. I meant to add that to my notes for that RIMA right here. I meant to write is it IMA? Let's forget. RIMA. To add that to my notes. RIMA. Because what if they don't write the word redo? But if they name the procedure RIMA, you know it's always this code will be in the answer. So that will be super helpful. So be sure and write that down beside your 33530. I hadn't done that yet, so I thought that was good. I have no plans, actually. I just didn't plan on a vacation. Last year I did go somewhere, and I missed out on, I think, 2 lives, but I came back on a Friday because we went for 3 days somewhere. But I didn't plan anything this time. I should have, but my annual audit, we had a lot of audits at work, not happen because of COVID. Well, there's no COVID anymore, right? So all the audits are in place. So my real job is back to normal for the first time in like years. Since 2019. We were already shutting down back then. And so I've been really busy during my real job hours. I still do 40 hours a week there, but right now I'm doing like 50 or 60, so I don't have anything planned. I should have. I don't know. We might do a couple of day trips, take my mom to Oatman. There's a little town near our town that's full of donkeys. I don't know. It's a tourist thing. I don't know. But we're not going to go far. We're not going to spend the night somewhere else. I'm going to wait till June or July before I take the boys on vacation. So I'll be here for the regular lives. but I still need to do real job stuff, so I don't have any tutoring open for next week. So that's what's going on as far as spring break vacation. All right, back to Lab and Path. No, I wish I was better. All right. Lab and Path. So we've got a 13 and two 19s, probably the difference between the two 19s, right? Because most certification exams give you two throwaways and then two answers that are super close. You just need to know, can you do whatever is different in either one of those? So let's go check out our 13 and 19 since those two will be super close together. All right, and let me get it to it up here. 13 and 19. All right, our 13 is a group 2, but it's a child code due to our 12. So we got to consider our 12. It's a special stain. What was our other codes? We had a 13 or a 19. So we got a special stain, group 2, and then our 19 is group 3. So we need to know the differences between these. And no one would know unless you looked it up and then did some really crazy work. So if it's a special stain, and by the way, they do not have each inside the CPT code descriptor, meaning that you can times all of these. So if it's not in your notes already, our 12, 13, 14, and of course 19 can be timesed. So be sure and get that set up first. They're the ones we don't add modifiers to. We would multiply them times however many tests we were doing. Of course, this was an add-on code anyway, so you should know that it's times. But I didn't have a whole lot of notes on these until I had to research them. Second thing is to know that the 12, 88312, is more for like bacteria stains. I miswrote micro when it's supposed to be mice, MYCO, bacterium. These are stains that you can find the bacteria by staining the microscope slides with acids or a silver solution. They're usually gram stains, gram positive. You probably heard that kind of stuff, but they're always looking for bacteria if it was a 12. If it's a 13, we're kind of looking for, I can't remember if it was, one of them's vitamins. This one's going to be for your surgical path slides, your pap smear slides, or hematology slides. And you see how it says the word except microorganisms? So it has to be non-living things that they're looking for, because it's not going to be alive, cell-based. So I think that's why I was thinking these are more like vitamins. You see how it has iron in it? More of a molecular vitamin thing. It's not alive. If that makes any sense. Like bacteria is alive, right? It's got feelers, antennas, it's swimming around, having a big old time in our body. Well, these are not alive things, so more like vitamins. But we get these slides from surgical paths, pap smears, or hematology. I haven't researched 14 because it wasn't in this one, but number 19 is like from blood or from bone marrow. We're using starch or amyloids on the slide as chemicals bases that go on the blood that will tell us how many lymphocytes, white blood cells, those kind of things are in the blood or in the bone marrow. They can also be called a Congo, and I know that does not look like Congo. It looks like cargo, but it's Congo, like the jungle, Congo. Red stains, it's just an AKA term for this, which I still haven't finished doing this, AKA. Or it can also be called a trap stain. That's also an AKA. You can tell I was in a hurry when I was writing all this mess down. AKA. So group 3 is blood products, hematology, bone marrow, blood. 13 is vitamins, iron things. Group 1 is your bacteria stains. So now that we know a little bit about what they're trying to tell us is group 1, group 2, and group 3, which they don't describe in the descriptors very well. I mean, it does say except organisms. You're supposed to know that that's not an alive part of your body. Versus this one where it is for microorganisms like bacteria, you're supposed to know that that means bacteria. And then group 3, it doesn't say anything other than enzyme constituents, which means blood and bone marrow. How are you supposed to know that? I don't know, but anyway, you got it now. You've got my notes here. So now we can go look at our practice question and we can do this one. A lot of my questions, like this one right here in particular, is probably a COC question. I mix in CRC, COC, CPMA, CCC, all the specialities that AAPC does, including AHEMA's CCS and CCA. All their practice of any sorts is all mixed into my training. If you can do any kind of questions that I have, you can do any one of those certificates. The cool thing is you don't get the apprenticeship with a lot of some of the other ones like the CRC or CCC. You know, you just get the straight coding certificate without any apprenticeship. So that's cool. Let's check out. But definitely this specialty lab notes that you just were given, that would definitely help you in a CIC or a COC. Would this question specifically be on a CPC? Probably not. But yeah, I always try to integrate a little bit of everybody in these. So we're going to look backwards and see if we notice anything. I see the word iron, which helps me think about the vitamins, right, that I had. And I think that one was the 13, wasn't it? It's not the 19, so it's not going to be a difference between the two that were alike, right? Let me go back and check. I think this is our 13, which is our vitamins. Yep. So we know right away our answer is going to be the oddball, which is this one, times 5. We got 1 stain was negative, 2 stain was negative, 3 stain was negative, 4 and 5. They actually did list out 5 different things. That's why we times it by 5. Oops, sorry, YouTube. I forgot to give you guys the question again. So, oops. Trying to erase. So if we look at all the things that they had listed here, the iron stain was negative, the trick was normal with its normal collagen, just looking for the commas to differentiate stuff. The reticulin stain is another one. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then these two right here, 4 and 5. That's why we have 5. You're taking yours tomorrow? Awesome. All right, we're going to stay in those same codes, I think, for our next one. Maybe. Kind of close to that same area. So we see our 12, so we know our vitamins here. 19 is our blood, bone material, bone marrow. And I don't know what 41 and 42 are. We can go look those up real quick. Let's go look those up real quick. The time is going to change for a lot of you guys, right? Pretty soon. What numbers? I can't believe it's already time to do that. 41 and 42. 41 is a child code, can't do anything with it. So we got to look at its mama code, which is the number behind it or above it. Yeah, so it's a 42, which is mama. So 42 is an antibody, which is my one word difference between it. The other ones, remember we've got blood or we have vitamins. So let's check out our question. See what we're doing. We're going to look from the bottom up. We're just skimming to see if we see anything that means anything. And the first word I run into is antibodies. Antibodies are only the 41 and 42, so I know I can get rid of this one and that one. Which answer do you think is correct for this answer? I'm going to go let my cat in and see if you guys can pick out the answer for this one. Are we going to be a 42 and a 41, or are we going to be a 42 with a 41? They want to know, if you know, which code goes first. Travis, get out of there. He's digging in the scissors all again. So if we look back at our PDF again, our book, you'll notice inside the 42 and the 41, we do have a use with. What would go first? We do have that we can use them together. You just need to know what order they would be in. And if you were picking quickly and didn't know that these were out of order and didn't check the book, you would assume, right, normal situations, our 41 would go first because our 42 would be the add-on code. But in this particular situation, these codes got mixed up where our 41 is our add-on code and our 42 is mama. It's a very unusual situation. A lot of times they're not like that at all. Our child codes are in general always the number higher than our other codes. So look at 13. our child code is 14. Examples of that are throughout the book. Look, the 30 is, and the 23 are all after the mama code of 09. So they just in general don't fall in that normal range. And if you were just guessing, you would probably think that, and that's what they're hoping, is that you don't know that these were out of whack. But yeah, C would be your answer. Thank you for that big heart again, Anointed. You're awesome. Thank you guys for the 5,000 likes on TikTok and the 11 shares. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up on YouTube. Let's see. Are we in the same area? 3319. Where are we at? 33. 3319. We're all up in the same area again. Oh my Lord. Okay. So which answer right here do you know right away could not be the correct answer without doing anything? We've got the 12, the 19, the 41, and 42. One of those definitely cannot be your answer. So we've got our 12. I don't remember what all the numbers were. 19. Okay. 12, 19. And then the 41 and 42. Which one cannot be the answer? Very good, Diana. Yes. Yes, because this one is an add-on code. It cannot be the only code that you code because it has that plus symbol in front of it for anything. So we know that's not the answer. So that helps out. The rest we're going to think about. This one's the blood, antibodies, and then what was 12? My brain. 12 was our bacteria. Do we have living, live stuff floating about or not? So we've got our bacteria. We've got our blood. Yep. All right. What have we got going on? What do you guys think? Where would melanomas be? Is that a bacteria? What was 19 again? 19, I got all these codes swimming around in my head. 19 is our blood or bone marrow. And then our 40s are antibodies. Where would melanomas fall in place? For a better view, you can view it on YouTube, streaming live. This is bacteria. This one's blood or marrow. And this one is antibodies. Where would melanomas fall into place? Tumors. Did anybody get it right? Chloe and Tanisha? Possibly. She picked A and B, but it is definitely going to be A. Melanomas don't grow from bacteria. Melanomas are not a blood or bone marrow issue. But it's, you talked about people getting, like Angelina Jolie, she got that DNA test to see if she had breast cancer or ovarian cancer in her DNA because she has the potential to have those if you have it in your DNA, which is kind of like an antibody test, which that's how you do it. It's going to be underneath the antibodies. So what I want you to do is go to your 88342 code and you're going to write down melanomas, salivary gland tumors, and Schwann cells right there underneath your 8842. I've got ant, but you're also going to write melanomas. You're going to write that Schwann, whatever the heck that was, and the other thing, whatever that was. My brain is swimming too fast. Gonna write all of that underneath here. That way you'll know it next time. Salivary tumors. Yes, the Warthogn's gland. Remember that war gland? Yep. Tumors. Gonna write that all underneath your 342. Tumors and your melanomas, write that all underneath there. How's everybody doing? Yeah. So it's going to be A is your answer. Huh. E&M. What type of code is R99234? What's going on in that CPT code? What's our header for it? Our header descriptor. If we did the process of elimination, we could have guessed it was A after we eliminated D. Could you? Because the two closest are 42 and 41. We saw that 41 was an add-on code, can't be used. You just pick your A and move on with your day. Yep. Excellent strategy. Could we have done it up here with this one? Oh, this one was 42 also. So then we've got, yep, we could have done it with this one too. 41 and 42 are closest. If we'd have saw that 41 was an add-on code, we know it doesn't go first. Pick C and move on with your day. And you don't need to know anything about none of this antibodies or tumors. Absolutely. Process of elimination is lovely. It is so lovely. Process of elimination, we do not do an E&M. E&M is another bear. We're just going to go to the headers of each one of these codes and see what our header is. What is our header for 99234? And I think I gotta go. No, not there. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go there. And where am I at? Here. Yep. And then we're gonna go to here. But I hope my notes were helpful tonight. I know y'all haven't seen them in a while, but I was hoping that I've been doing them all electronically, so I was hoping this would help you guys out a whole lot, just to see them again. Get some more notes down. Come on, what are you doing? Go search for what I'm asking you to. Go search for that. All right. 99234. If we look at its header, we are in our admit and discharge observation code. So we're going to go to back to our Word document. And we're going to write admit and discharge OBS. What about our 9922 whatever? 221, 222, 223, it could be anything. What is that one? What's the header for that code? Thank you for the 6,000 likes and the 11 shares on TikTok and all the thumbs up on YouTube. Yeah, I got to do some more videos where I'm working through the codes and y'all are watching me do some book prep. Gots to do some more. Admit hospital. Somebody has been with me and knows my admit hospital. Yep. What's our 238? What kind of code is that one? Ishmael. Unique K. I just had a K pass her certification exam this week. That's awesome. This one's discharge, isn't it? 238, is that a discharge? That's a discharge. So let's see if what our patient's status is. Are they at admit, discharge, all on the same day, at just an admit into the hospital, or just a discharge? What happened? What's our answer on this one? Nobody has the answer correct yet. Maybe Ash. Matos? It's not A. It's not D. Ooh, Twinkle's giving away another subscription. Who's she giving it away to? Ooh. Charisse. She got gifted a month's worth of YouTube. Yay! Congratulations. Thank you, Twinkle. It's actually B, guys, because this is a Medicare patient. Medicare does not pay for observation. No OBS when you see Medicare name. This is just an admit into the hospital. Yeah, they were discharged 4 hours later. Whatever, but Medicare requires that we do not bill any observation at all. So 99221 is just right here, right underneath new or established hospital patient. The X is just a placeholder for whether it's a level 1, level 2, or a level 3 hospital admit. That's all that means. Hold on, I gotta go answer my door.
Where's James?
I don't know where my child is at.
You don't know where he is?
No.
I thought he told you where he was going.
No.
Well, he's not here.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't know where my children are because I'm teaching a class. You are not? He's probably went to bed. He's probably exhausted. Come on, Chloe. Not his keeper. You want out? There you go. Sorry, my one child came in looking for my other child, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm a wizard. I don't know where anybody's at. But yeah, that code is just simply with all the other admit hospital codes right there. We've got all these guidelines jumbled up, and I'm sure it says something in here about Medicare somewhere. Prolonged services, it's got it there. It's always check with the individual, blah, blah, blah. But one thing for sure is right above all of your OBS codes, these right here, you should have typed a note right alertly, hugely right above all these codes. No Medicare patient, no Medicare patient, no Medicare patient. Write it down beside all three of those OBS codes. Anything right here in this area, put no Medicare. That'll be super helpful. That way you can just have to pick out the best answer out of whatever option there is left. We definitely have to bill for the admit. So same ones, the 2-2 and then a placeholder just means it could be a level 1, it could be a level 2, it could be a level 3, but these are all admit hospital, right? And then the 9s are for critical care. So, was our patient admitted, or were they in critical care? Or were they admitted and then also received critical care? Or did they get critical care and then were admitted? That's what these answers are telling you. And if you can't find the codes or know the differences in the codes pretty fast like that, you need to start making you some flashcards with the codes on them for E&M and just noting what their headers are like that. This is admit hospital. This is critical care. This is our admit hospital and then our critical care. Lester. Then we've got critical care and then our admit hospital. That will help you out a whole bunch. I don't like for y'all to memorize a lot, but E&M is such a big part of the CPC exam. It's really handy to know those pretty fast. Listen. Go Lamb. Come on, Lester. You leave Chloe alone. She ain't bugging you, and I'll get you some more num-nums. Yeah, you scratch on your scratching post. Be a good boy. Lay down. All right, let's check out our question. All we need to do is know where our patient ended up. Where did they end up? They get antsy about this time, wanting their num-nums before they go to bed. You had that example in your book, Nicole said. You're welcome about the clarification for the X. C, you believe. If you're going to bill, what's one of our guidelines, right? Guideline question is what this is. If you're going to bill 2 of your 99 office visits codes, irregardless, if you're going to bill a critical care with a hospitalization, what do you have to have with it? If you're billing 2 evaluation and management codes, what do you have to have with it? And that one little thing, we only have one answer that has that. What is it? There you go, mama girl. Yep, Foxy. Yep, Jenna. Yep, unique, K. We only have one answer with our modifier in it. So we have to pick D. Modifiers can save you. Wednesday's Live had a lot of modifier saves like this one. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's really good with questions that are easier to answer just because you know the modifier rule. So this is another example of that. The Medicare didn't have anything to do with this one because there's no observation, so it wasn't. We can bill for critical care and we can bill for hospitalization. But if we are going to bill for 2 evaluation and managements, we got to have our 25 modifier. Yep. What do you guys think about the answer for this one? Patient presents to the office with pain. They were diagnosed with a UTI. How are we going to code our E&M, MDM? Are we minimal, low, moderate, high? Yep. We knew it was 2 because they returned back to the ER. Yep. Yep, you should have stayed with D. I tricked you into changing it. So we have one chronic condition and one acute illness. That's where we put this patient because the patient has diabetes. So if we go to our bookie book, yep, that's it. This one's it. And we go to our lovely chart, nobody knows how to read, in the front of our E&M section, right here. You need to look in your second column for the differences between minimal, low, moderate, and high, and look for where you can find one acute or one chronic illness, that also is with an acute illness, not just, one or the other. Use this chart. Jeanette's got it right now. This one would be moderate because we have one chronic illness that is being considered with a UTI. Moderate. And if you don't go to your book, right here on that chart, if you go here and go to moderate, right here underneath moderate, put, I can't add the notes here in this particular one, but I would add UTI with diabetes equals. That way you've got it written right underneath moderate as an example. That'll help you out during your exam. All right, what about this one? Are we a level 2, level 3, level 4, or level 5 for this patient? If UTI with diabetes was a level 4, then a UTI by itself is a level 3. So level 2 is over-the-counters, go home and rest, OTCs. 3 is 7-day RX. Diabetes, we've got 30-day RXs for that. And number 5 is you're circling the drain. We got to intervene and do something on you. Or we spent a whole heck of a lot of time with you for that visit. Here's another one that's low, moderate, high, or straightforward. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. If an MD states in their documentation that medication is reviewed and reconciled, they are managing the patient's meds, what is the risk level? Are we a level 2, level 3, level 4, or level 5? Thank you, Twinkle. Last one for tonight. Where do we put our medicine reconciliation? Again, this is going to be directly related to this chart that is in our book, and you'll be looking over here in this 4th column for our risk complications. Oops, hold on, you guys on the internet can't see it. Hold on. This column right over here with risk. Look for it to say anything about medication. This 4th column down here. Look for medication reconciliation. That 4th column. Then tell me what you think the answer is. It's definitely not straightforward. Yep, it's not low. And they're not circling the drain, gonna die. So yes, we have moderate for this one too. Anything that says meds were reviewed and managed, that is always going to be a moderate or a level 4. Always. On the exam. Always. Yay. All right, guys. Well, I hope this was helpful. I got to get back to my notes. I'm really close to getting done with these 2023 notes for the female reproductive system. Almost done with these and get those posted. And then somebody was wanting radiology. I got to do integumentary and muscle before we have our workshop on the 19th too. So I've got a lot to do while the boys are here for spring break, for sure. So I'm going to get busy on that. I'll be back with another live with 2 hours of practice questions on Monday. The heck date is that going to be? The 13th. I'll be back on the 13th, 6:30 Arizona time zone. I don't know if y'all's time zone will change yet or if that's the week after, but Arizona's time never changes. We don't fall back or go forward, but you guys' does sometime soon. So just keep track of that. I'll post updates in our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord group, it's super, super helpful. It's just full of information, full of individual rooms with tons of help in them. Practice exam questions, job help, study buddy help, Practicode help, anatomy, compliance. I even posted some podcast in there the other day about these. I found some free podcast for compliance stuff, so I don't know if they're any good or not, but they were free, so I posted them in there. Lots of free help in our Discord study group. If you haven't downloaded the Discord app, be sure and do that. And then just click the link and join in when you do that. That can be found, the link can be found on, right here on YouTube. If I can figure out what page I'm on. Yeah, it can be found right there on YouTube, which is super helpful. Right up here in the top corner, Discord is that little remote controller right there. You can click that and it'll throw you right into it. Super helpful. The TikTok's there, the website's there, and AAPC's Knowledge Center, which is super handy dandy sometimes. You can just click in to it, and then you don't even have to be a member or have a membership with AAPC, but you can use their Knowledge Center, like type in, I don't know, what's a code? Ooh, I wonder if they got one for the 33533 that we were doing today with those arteries and veins and stuff. Yep, they've got one right here for that code about coding those cabbages. And the cool thing about their Knowledge Center is a lot of times they have examples that are super handy. And these are kind of cool. Look at that chart that they have there. A little easier. Veins only. Yep. So their Knowledge Center is pretty cool. But a lot of times they'll have coding examples in here. This was written a long time ago, but sometimes it'll say, for example, if you have a 53-year-old male, blah, blah, blah. And some of those are pretty close to exam questions. So their Knowledge Center is super handy dandy. But I have that link right there on YouTube. But our Discord group is more than enough information, and it's all free. You can search for questions like cabbage. You can search it, CABG, and see if anybody asked about any cabbages or questions before, and pull those notes up that anybody wrote. Look at all that. Yep. We got lots of stuff in there about cabbages. So it's pretty cool. Yep, there's a 74-year-old Medicare patient who had a cabbage with some stents. Somebody posted a question in there. Got some videos on cabbages in our Discord group. Yep, angiograms. Oh yeah, tons of stuff. So Discord group, I'm sorry YouTubers can't see that because it's just going through it's on top of my computer screen. I haven't figured out how to show Discord on OBS yet, but I will eventually. But I hope this was helpful, and I will be around if you guys need me, and so will Twinkle, I'm sure. I hope you had a better day at work today, too. Yep. Thank you. Good night, guys. I hope it was helpful. I will see you guys on Monday. Be sure and let me know what you would like to go over to on Monday, and I'll practice on trying to get some of those questions put in there for you guys. But for now, I'm just going to sign off. Let's see, there is a note on modifier 76 in the E&M services. Yep. I have a question. Can you add modifier 76 to E&M questions? Well, E&M's 76 isn't really for procedure services. I mean, maybe in the ER, if we were redoing the same, popping somebody's bone back into place, you know, like their shoulder came out of place, and they came into the ER today after a football game or something, playing in their front yard. We pop their shoulder back in, and then they come back a few hours later, and we have to pop it back in again because they fell outside on the ice in the ER. I'm assuming, yeah. I mean, there's always a reason why you could do that, but it would have to be very specific because that's a procedure. So we don't do a lot of procedures and bill E&M at the same time. If they're scheduled for a procedure, we're just going to do the procedure, but it'd have to be a specific scenario. But I hope that helps. and somebody else says it would be a no. Probably not on a 99213. Can't think of a reason why we would do that on a 99213. ER would be really the only thing. And they'd have to come in and see the same ER physician. I guess it could be, they have two of them, that one could be different, but it would have to be very specific. Crazy scenario. But no, I wouldn't do it on a regular office visit. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. TikTok, everybody's going to the website. Don't forget to write down those components to those vaccines. Super helpful. And don't forget to book for the workshop that is going to be on the 19th if you want to attend. Time management, yep.